Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here. You can see I'm in the car because we're about to take a trip. I cannot wait to take you on this trip. We're about to go visit Baker Creek Seeds. I am in Missouri. And if you're new here, say hello so I know that where you're coming in from. And if you're not new here, thank you so much for being here. So y'all know we talk about seeds a lot. We're starting seeds and all that. And y'all know that when I first started my gardening journey, I only did Baker Creek Seeds because that's all I knew. So the first year, that's all I had, right? So the first year, well, that's all I had was Baker Creek Seeds. And then someone introduced me to Johnny's Seeds, and then y'all know I got a hook to Johnny's. But today we're in Missouri, so we're gonna go see Baker Creek. And y'all know I've talked about how sometimes I have good success with Baker Creeks and sometimes that I don't. Now, because I'm close, I wanna go see for myself and let's go buy some seeds, because one of the things about Baker Creek, when you go to their website is actually rareseeds.com because they have a lot of rare seeds. So if you want really funky looking stuff, pretty stuff, things like that, then you definitely want to look at the Baker Creek website. They just have really unique, and they have traditional stuff too, but they have a lot of unique stuff that you can't find anywhere else. So I'm excited today. So let's go take a look and see what we can find. So I was in Missouri for 6 days, and we were staying in a city called Kabul. So if you're close to that area, please shout out and let me know. But we were in Kabul. My husband was actually here for a ministry trip. And so we looked up, and Baker Creek was literally only about 35 minutes from our hotel. So on one of these days when we had some free time, we decided to go ahead and take a drive out here. The weather was nice. Well, let me pause right here and just let me just say this. If you are in Missouri, y'all, it's hot in Missouri. It's real hot. It is hotter than Tennessee for sure. The week that we were there, it was 90, but the heat index was 106 to 109 all the days we were there, and it was extremely, extremely hot. But on this particular day, it was hot, and then all of a sudden we hit this thunderstorm, and it started raining really bad. But by the time we arrived at Baker Creek, the weather had stopped raining, and so it was still pleasant to see. Right here you can see this is their greenhouses. As you start to arrive on the property, they have 27 greenhouses that you can see right here. And so this is kind of like on the way. This is on Baker Creek Road, and so kind of as you pass by, you can see all the greenhouses before you arrive at the actual seed store. So we're now on the property of the actual place. You can see us passing the sign there. And so we stopped to see, okay, which way to go. And so we started to continue on up the road, and we arrived at the actual location. So as we came in, we were able to see a little bit of the landscape. And so as we kind of turn this corner right here, you'll see this like glass looking greenhouse. I found out later that's where they have some of their citrus trees but I can't wait to go inside and kind of share with you. There was a guy that was there that worked there, and he really took a lot of time talking to us and explaining and answered all my questions. You know, I had 50 million questions, but I only asked him 25 million. But anyway, we're about to go inside. This is right outside the seed store. So let's meet you. I'll meet you inside. So as you walk in, there are seeds galore. It's like seed overwhelm. Oh my goodness, just a wall of seeds. They're all in alphabetical order. The building itself is not that big like I anticipated. I don't know what I was expecting, but y'all, look at all these seeds. It's like just sensory overload, and it's like a kid in a candy store, except you're a gardener. It's unbelievable. So the gentleman there was very helpful at giving me lots of information. As you stay tuned to the video, I'm going to be able to share some statistics with you and just how things are overall done at the store. But one of the things he talked about was the seed catalog. If you're familiar, they do a pretty big seed catalog annually. And so he showed me the first one that was ever done back in 1989. So let's take a look at the very first seed catalog versus what they have today.
Copies.
Wow.
That's the 98 catalog. Next to it's the 99, and then it goes up from there.
Wow.
Hand-drawn,
Now
50 copies, stapled.
Yeah, now it is 532 full-color pages.
Yes.
Send out 1 million copies. While you're looking at the cover art, here's another little piece of info. See the full moon one and the big tomato? Okay.
Oh, wow.
Jared's mother's an artist. covers.
Wow.
Now, what year was the first one?
1998
Wow.
and 99, and then she started putting color art on the cover. Now it's 532 full color pages.
Yeah.
That's 26 years. Jared was 17 years old when he started this business in the bedroom in that house. He still lives there with his wife and 5 kids. Really? Yeah, he's here every day.
So this is the owner of Baker Creek. He started it when he was 17 years old. He borrowed $100 from his uncle to start the seed company. And so his house, he actually lives on the property. The house that he grew up in is still there, and he lives at the house with his wife and 5 children. And he comes to work every day is what the guy told me. So I thought that was pretty cool. So in case you couldn't hear the gentleman talking in the background, when he first started the seed catalog back in 1998, this was the first one. He hand drew it, and it's black and white and it's staple. And then they have the different years in succession that they've done the seed catalog. If you get the seed catalog, the one that they actually sell beginning of seed starting season, it is, I think it's usually like $10 or $15. It's 500 pages. All color, front and back, and I think it's, like I said, $10 or $15, and they sell 1 million of those copies annually. Now, when you're in the store, they have the catalogs right here in the front, and you can actually get one for free. I didn't get one just because it was not gonna be able to fit in my luggage on the way back, and so we were driving and not flying, so it wasn't practical for me to get one because that was going to add probably another 10 pounds, and I was already at my limit. But you can see the seed catalog here. So if you've never gotten it, it's a great one to get. I usually order one probably every other year or so. But like I said, 500 pages of all the seeds and the colors and the pictures and everything else. So I started browsing all the seeds, and like I mentioned before, it's like seed overwhelm. One of the things that I thought was interesting that came to me is that I saw a lot of stuff that I had not seen before. Even though I've had the catalog, I've gone to the site many, many times. But what I realized is that when I'm ordering seeds, because Baker Creek is not the first place that I go anymore, I'm usually going there to buy something specific, something that I've tried before, that I know for a fact that I want and I can't get anywhere else, or I'm looking for like maybe a new flower or something like that. And so I don't necessarily take the time on the site to go through each and every item and take a look at it. So this was very fun and interesting just to see all the stuff. There was stuff that I had never even heard of before and that I even know existed, just because again, I'm not always going to the site and just browsing and perusing. I'm usually going there for a specific thing. The other thing that I did like, though, was to see all the seeds in one place. Like to just have them all kind of just laid out there, versus when you're going on the site, you're going, you know, clicking from here to there. But just to have them all right there in your eyesight, to me, worked a lot better in terms of seeing what was there. I'm looking at a red swan bush. I end up putting this in my basket. But that's the downside, too, because they were all right there in my face. Y'all, I put so much stuff in my basket. Unbelievable how much I spent. Now they have this big map, and we're going to put a pin where our garden is, so you'll be able to see kind of where we put it. This is a map, and so you're supposed to put a pin where your garden is. You can see all the different pins that are up here. You can see the pins where there's a lot, obviously Missouri, and then those that are not as much. So in Wyoming, y'all not coming to Baker Creek. So where's the pins, baby?
I'm trying to find them.
We're gonna put our pin right in here. You can also see where things that are not on the map. Somebody was here from New Zealand. This was Panama City. Let's see what these say. Brisbane, Australia. And then Fairy Meadow, Australia, New South Wales.
I know, I brought mine too.
Okay. Hubby is going to stick a pin where our garden is.
Here's Tennessee. Here's Pulaski.
Yay, we're on the map. Hey, y'all. Look at all these seeds. Like, it is seeds from wall to Wow. This is like a gardener's candy store. I didn't even know Baker's Creek sold Georgia Southern collard green seeds. I don't think I've ever seen them on their website. Y'all, they got everything. Okay. I gotta focus. Look at all these marigolds. Here. Gypsy Sunshine. I'm gonna get that. I already got a couple of them in here. Y'all see that I'm just in the L's, right? But at this point, I've already been here an hour. I'm just in the L's, so that means I haven't even gotten to tomatoes or anything like that. Y'all, I just kept putting stuff in my basket. I don't know if you can see, there's a little basket on my arm. Do you see me? I'm just picking them up and just dropping them in there. Like, just dropping them in there. Oh my goodness, y'all. I cannot tell you how this was. I can't even put it into words. It was like all the seeds like right there at my disposal. I'm picking up stuff that I'm like, am I gonna grow all this? So now it's time to assess the damage and check out. Y'all, I really should have went through these seeds before I went up to this counter to like, because I just put everything in my basket, but I didn't go back and prioritize. And yeah, that's not my total. That total kept going up as she kept going up the seeds. It just kept going and going and going and going. Yep, still not done. So after we leave out of the seed store, we come right outside the seed store to tour this beautiful area right here. This is like their flower beds. And you can see they're like in concrete, but they're all over. And one of the beautiful things that I like about it is that you're able to see the flower and how it grows up close. And then it has like these little markers, wooden markers that tells you what the flower is. So that way, if you want to go buy it, you can. So this is Red Raven Corkscomb. I fell in love with this flower, but I did not trust myself enough to go back in there and buy the seed. So I probably should have looked at this area first, but I had no idea that it was set up this way. This is a great way, again, for you to see how things grow in case you want to have it in your garden. And you can also go in there and get the seed as well. I'll just order this online because I do have to have it. It is just absolutely stunning and beautiful. Here's some Gomphrena right here. And like I said, most of this area was flowers. There is some an orange kumquat celosia. So I like the fact, again, that you can kind of see it instead of just looking at it on a seed packet, and you can see kind of how it grows, which I think is very, very nice. Here is some more Gomphrena along the way. There's some pink, and then there's some white. And then also they have celosia out here. They have all different kinds of celosia. It gives you lots of ideas. Here's some bronze fennel. You can see what that looks like. And then this is a celosia that's green sylphid. I'm actually growing this in my high tunnel right now. It's okay, but it doesn't give a lot of color, so I don't know that I'll grow it again. But again, had I been here and saw how I grew, maybe I wouldn't have bought the seed. Here's another type of celosia as well right there. But it's just everywhere. And when I tell you there is not a weed in sight, there is not a weed in sight. So it's very, very maintained, very well taken care of. Here is the coleus section. So there's a different kinds of coleus. So they did have everything kind of grouped by type of flower, which is nice. And then here, I'm going to show you where the owner lives. So also, I told you that the owner lives on property. This is actually his childhood home where he actually grew up. And he still lives there with his 5 children right there. So that's right there, literally to the left of the seed store. So as you walk down this pathway, you can see that red building back there that says Ozark Hotel and Restaurant. They actually just had a restaurant up until 3 months ago. When their chef moved, so have not been able to find another chef. So right now the restaurant is closed. And then right down the way down there is an actual bakery as well. And mostly this is for the staff and the people that work on the property, but any guests that come through the day can stop by and get a pastry. Hey guys, I'm back home now from Missouri, and I had such a great time at the Baker Creek. Now y'all know that Baker Creek, I order seeds from them, but it's not necessarily my number one, just based on what type of things I grow and my goals. But it was so good to see a seed company live and in action. And so I'm gonna show you the bounty of what all I bought, y'all. It's a lot, but this is the no judgment zone. Before I get into and showing you all my seeds, all $200 worth of seeds that I bought, no judgment. I want to kind of tell you some things that I learned because it was interesting to me. So I think that you will find it interesting, just like fun facts of what I found out. So at Baker Creek, particularly, he was telling me that they sell 1 million seed catalogs a year, but he said they don't make any money off the seed catalogs. Obviously, they make their money off of selling seeds, and they sell about 3 million seed packets annually. That's a lot of seeds, y'all. That's a lot of seeds. And because I had, when I say his attention, like he was very willing to share and to talk and just kind of walked around the store with us. And I told him that I was a YouTube content creator, and I was like, man, I would just love to get some information. Or even before I told him that, he was talking. But anyway, so he was telling me, I asked him, what all do you guys grow here? How big is the facility? So of course I showed you the drive coming in, and I showed you like there was some greenhouses lined up. So there's 27 greenhouses, and then they have 742 raised beds. 742 raised beds. But with all of that, they only grow 35% of the seeds that they sell. Only 35%. So he said they have like 180 plus contractors, growers that they contract with to grow seed for them. And if I had to guess, I'm sure that a lot of seed companies do that. I'm guessing. I don't know because I haven't seen or researched any other ones, but they have like 180 contractors that grows, seed for them. And he says some of those contractors they've had relationships with or contracts with for 15 plus years. So I wonder if that has anything to do with what they grow there versus what they get in germination. So one of the things I've talked openly about on my channel is that I feel like their germination rates are much lower than the other seed companies that I use. And so I did ask him about the germination rate, and I found out this interesting fact, and then I went and looked it up. So apparently there is a Seed Act, I think it was the Seed Act of 1963. Y'all get into all this kind of stuff, but the Seed Act of 1963, and there is a law that says the seeds have to have a certain level of germination rate. So I think it's 80% for certain crops and then 90% for other crops. So I didn't directly ask him, hey, I feel like that your seed germination rates are lower than other seed companies. But what I did ask was, I said, I think that it's interesting that you guys don't put your germination rates on your packets and other seed companies do. So that's how I asked him, or that's what I asked him. And that's when he told me about the Seed Act. And he said, we're mandated by law that it has to be a certain level of germination rate. And he said for most crops, it's 90% or above. He said, so if you get the seed packet, it definitely meets whatever the minimum threshold is. And there's certain crops that's 80%. I don't know the difference. He said, so that it has to meet that because there's a federal law. And I said, so do you guys keep records? He was like, oh yeah, tons of records. We're mandated, to have records, and we do lots of testing and all of that good stuff. So now I really want to go to another seed company if they have a tour, because I want to just like compare and contrast. And I'm just really intrigued by this seed industry thing. But anyway, so he was saying that, that if you get the packet, it meets the criteria, which when I got in the car, my husband later said, he didn't really answer your question. And I was like, yeah, he did. He's like, no, he didn't. And I went back to my question. My question was, is there a reason why you guys don't put your germination rate on your seed packets? So if you are a new gardener, or if you've never paid attention, if you buy seeds from Johnny Seeds, Urban Farmer, and my gardener, I think he puts his on there, and I want to say Territorial Seed. So those are like some of the main places that I buy seeds. They all put their germination rates on there, right? So, but Baker Creek does not. And I just find it interesting because to me, out of all of those, from my experience, they have the lowest germination rate. They germinate, but they don't germinate as well as these other ones. And so he said, well, this is what the law what the law mandates is that if a seed company, if you're producing a packet that does not meet the minimum threshold, you have to put a sticker on it that says, oh man, I don't remember, something to the effect of packed for a higher quantity due to lower germination, something along those lines. A sticker has to go on it. So what happens is, let's say they normally put 20 seeds in a pack. That's their normal, standard operation. And let's say they test the seed, and it comes in below the criteria. So let's say the criteria is 90%, right? Germination rate. Let's use the number 10. That's easier math. So let's say they normally put 10 seeds in a packet. And let's say for that particular crop, the minimum germination rate is 90%. That means in that packet, 9 out of 10 seeds have to be viable or germinate, right? That's kind of what that's telling you, is that if you have a 90% germination rate, then 9 out of 10 of these seeds are going to germinate. So let's say they test and it does not meet that minimum germination rate. So instead of them putting 10 seeds in the pack, they now have to put 15 or 20, I don't know what the number is, but they have to oversupply or package and put more seeds in there to meet that germination rate. Does that make sense? Or to account for the fact that it was below the germination rate. So it would have to have a sticker on it that says something to the effect of, hey, this was overpacked, meaning we have more than our normal seeds due to low germination. And he said that the owner does not want to put that sticker on their seeds. And I guess no owner would want, again, and this is not to put them in a bad light. I'm just sharing you the information, and again, this is law. But again, I've never seen that sticker. You let me know if you've ever seen that sticker. So that tells me that I'm sure that not only does the Baker Creek company not want to put that sticker on there, nobody else does either, right? Because then it probably plants in your mind like, okay, well, it got this sticker on it, it's low germination. And if you kept seeing that over and over and over, it's almost like, is this a bad car? Like, is this a lemon type of thing? So that's kind of what I took away from it. So I thought that was very, very interesting. That's the only word I can use, is that I thought it was interesting. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Yeah, that was very intriguing to me. It was very intriguing to me that they only grow 35% of the stuff there. That was intriguing to me. And also, if you didn't know this, when we talk about, seeds expiring, this is another thing, again, that I validated, is that they have to, let me get this right, they have to sell the seeds in the year that it was packed, if I'm not mistaken. And then, of course, they're doing the germination on the year before. So, for example, seeds that are packed in 2025, they have to be sold in 2025. So at the end of the year, December 31st, 2025, they can no longer sell those seeds in the store that have, that were done in 2025. So they either give them away to organizations, food houses, food banks, churches, civic organizations, donation places, or they may have a sale, right? And so sometimes you will go into a seed store or like a Tractor Supply or, a co-op, and they have seeds discounted, or at a nursery, more likely a nursery than like a Tractor Supply, but like a nursery, they may have the seeds discounted like half off, because they know that they have to be sold within a certain amount of time frame within that year. That doesn't mean that the seed is bad. That's just what the law says. Like, you want to say the seeds have to be done at that time. So I think that for the 2025 seeds, they're testing those in 2024. So that in 2024, they're testing the seeds. They're logging the germination rates so that they know what the germination rates are. So even though Baker Creek doesn't have the germination rates on the packet, they have a log or a record somewhere that they can show that this is what the germination is and what the testing is, because they have to, because of the law. And I'm sure people come in and audit and all that kind of stuff. But those things were done in 2024. They packaged for 2025, and now those have to be sold by December 31st, 2025, meaning they can't sell them in their store. They have to, and he said they get rid of seeds, not in terms of in the trash. They give them away to like civic organizations, donations, churches, and things like that. Usually at the end of the year, they give away I want to say he almost said 1 million, but don't let me quote that. They give away a lot. It's basically what he's saying. So now, right now in 2025, they are testing seed and all of that, and that'll be the seeds for 2026. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you find that interesting, right? It was interesting to me. But for those of you who want to know what I bought, let's get to it, okay? Let's get to it, y'all. So here is my long receipt. Y'all see that? My long, my long receipt. I spent $224.80. A mess, y'all, a mess. And here's the thing, y'all, this is definitely what you call some impulse shopping. And I'm not usually, I've definitely impulse shopped before, so I don't want to say that I don't do that, but I generally don't. Like, it's not like my standard mode of operation. And what I meant to do was, because I was, as I saw things, I was just getting them, right? What I meant to do was to go back through all of them and then put back the ones that I really didn't want, that I just kind of picked up like, oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, this, that type of thing. But because I was talking and I was in the moment and I was just in my feelings, I don't know. It's like my body just walked up to the counter, and when she started ringing that stuff up, I was like, OMG, girl, what have you done? All these seeds you got. Now, it's not like I'm not going to use them, and it's not like I'm not a gardener, and it's not like I can't give them away to some people, and it's not like I can't use it for content and trials and testing. Like, it's going to get used, but I really wasn't trying to spend $224.80 that day, but I did. Okay? But I did. Okay, y'all. This right here, what we're going to do is we're going to go through these seeds and we're going to try to organize them as we go, because I don't have time to organize them before I show y'all, okay? So they are in no kind of order because I didn't buy them in no kind of order. Okay, so I'm going to go through these quickly. A lot of these were stuff that I have not bought before, or I've never grown. And maybe it was on my list, or it sounded interesting, and I was like, okay, let me try it. There's stuff, of course, that I use and buy all the time, so I just got extras of those. The prices were basically $3 a pack, so you can do the math. I guess there's some, let me see this receipt. Yeah, most of them were $3 a pack. There were some that were $4 a pack, but for the majority, it's $3 a pack. Same price that you pay online is the same price that I paid. There was no discount. There was no special, like none of that. And they don't charge shipping anymore. So I did not get a deal any more than what you would have. If you buy all these same seeds I buy online, we're gonna pay the same price. So there was no deal to be had. But first one up is Amaranth, Golden Giant. Y'all know why I got that. I've never grown amaranth. If I should grow it, well, I guess I should at least try it. So if I go, let's make a pack. If I go through something and I say, oh, I've never done that before, then you put in the comments if you've done it and if I should do it, and give me any facts, tidbits about it. And it won't be just for me, it'll be for everybody else. And y'all, I know this is gonna be a long video, but I mean, get your tea, get your water, let's rock and roll. Okay, Amaranth, Golden Giant, it's pretty. I think Amaranth is a grain, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know. Yeah, white seeded grain type that yields up to 1 pound per plant. Y'all, I don't know much about amaranth. Tell me what you think. Okay, old favorite, purple whole peas. I grow these every year, so that's not anything new, and I'm just putting them in stacks as I see them. Let's see. Oh, violas. I've never grown violas, and I'm not a huge fan of violas, but it's one of the things that will withstand the winter. So when it comes to fall and winter flowers, snapdragons, sweet alyssum, violas, pansies, and things like that will work in my area. But I'm gonna try to grow some from seed, and these were prettier than, it's a little bit of a different design than what you can get in the store. So I'm gonna do some violas. I got some onions. And one of the things I've heard, like, I have not been successful growing onion from seed, but I'm going to try it again. Now, I don't know this to be fact, but I've heard it from many gardeners, is that Out of all the seeds, when they say seeds don't expire, they say that onion seeds you do need to buy fresh every year. They actually go bad. Is that true, y'all? That's what I've always heard, but I don't know. Okay. Strawberry watermelon. You guys know I grow this every year, so it's good to just pick it up while I had it, while I was in there. My husband got this. Bitter melon. I don't know why, because this don't have my name on it at all. I'm not trying to grow that unless he makes me, because I don't like the taste of it. And this is the other thing. If you are into bitter melon, I think they eat it a lot in Asian cultures, if I'm not mistaken. It is extremely bitter. Now, it is good for you, but it's extremely bitter. But they had several different kinds of bitter melon. Like, they probably had at least a good 7 or 8 varieties. He picked this one up and kept throwing it in my cart. I kept throwing it out. He kept throwing it in. Somehow it still stayed in there. So we're going to put that off to the side. Cauliflower. Yeah, we've done that one before. No problem. Okay, so borage. I've never grown borage before. A lot of you have told me that I need to grow borage, that it's a good crop to deter hornworms, and it's a good pest repellent. So I've never grown borage, and this is gonna sound crazy, but this is who I am. Y'all know I like cute stuff, and borage is usually like these blue flowers. I've never actually seen it in person. I've only seen it in pictures, and I don't like the way the flower, like, I don't like blue flowers, so that's why I've never grown it. You can call it superficial, but I like the things that look cute. So they had a white one, so that's why I got the white borage, okay? I like cute things. Dr. Witchy's fan favorite, one of my top favorite tomatoes. I've grown this every year, so I just picked that up. Kellogg's Breakfast. I've never grown this one, but I've heard about it, so I'm gonna try that next year. Let me know if you've tried it before. And then y'all, in the tomato section, they had 116 varieties of tomatoes. 116. Now, for somebody who is way adventurous, more adventurous than me, you would have even more of a field day in Baker's Creek, because it's rareseeds.com. Like, they have the rare stuff, the things, and I don't know. My personality, like, I like to grow something unique and different, but I'm never probably gonna grow a lot of it, especially not anything that I'm eating. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of the tomato varieties, I kind of stick to the tried and true, and I introduce some new ones, maybe 2 or 3 a year. But 116, like, some of them, I'm like, I don't want a chocolate tomato looking tomato. I just don't. But if that's your thing, you would love it. But tomato. This is so pretty. This is a new marigold. And again, I found it so interesting that, a lot of the things that I picked up and saw, it's not that I couldn't have gotten these before, but when I go on the Baker's Creek site, or really for any site, I know what I want. Or I'm looking up a cabbage variety, so I go to the cabbage, right? I don't just look and peruse. And even when I get the catalog, like, I'm perusing, but it's more like leisurely. Like, I'm sitting there sipping on a drink, non-alcoholic, y'all. Don't, for those who know me, know. Okay, don't be saying Miss Mason is drinking. I don't drink alcohol. No judgment if you do. But there's some people watching who's gonna be like, she had a drink. No, I have a drink, lemonade, things like that. Okay. So that cracked me up. Okay. So what was I saying? So I'm sitting, looking at the catalog, and it's kind of, it's always like in the wintertime. I'm in the front of the fireplace. It's like looking through a magazine. Like, you cataloging, but you not cataloging. Anyway, I don't know how to explain it. But here you go, Gypsy Sunshine. That's beautiful. I love that. Chamomile Kelway Golden. So I think that's pretty. I haven't tried that variety before. Petunia. Greetings from Jaromir. I don't know who Jaromir is, but it was a different kind of petunia. I was successful growing petunias this year. You can't see, but they're all in my green stalks outside my sunroom. I'm looking at them. They're so pretty. I grew them from seed, and it was so easy. And these were the Dollar Tree 4 packs for $1 petunias, and they all germinated perfectly. I sold a ton, and it grew a ton. Like, they germinated great. Okay, so this is Canada crookneck squash. I've heard about this one. I've never grown it. It supposedly doesn't get squash bugs. We're gonna see next year. We're going to see. fan favorite, done this one many times before, Craig's Grande Jalapeno. That's another squash. I've done that one before, Honey Nut. Rudbeckia, I've done this one before. I have not had success with Rudbeckia in the last 2 years. Like, I didn't even try it this year because I think I'm out of seed. But I tried it the year before and it didn't do good. But my first 2 years gardening, I had great success. But for whatever reason, the last 2 years, I haven't. But I picked that one up because that's pretty. This is the Rudbeckia Sahara. So I'm just gonna put all the flowers together and then we can put them in their respective places. Cosmos, I think this is pretty. The Apricota, I think that is very beautiful. I grew Cosmos not this year, but last year. And I like them, but I saw them on somebody's channel. I was like, I need to grow those again. Those are really pretty. They remind me of like just a very delicate papery flower, but I think that's pretty. Ashvarsky, fan favorite, 100%. Grow that all the time, every single year. Bell Sweet Chocolate Pepper. I bought this for a friend because she would probably like this. She likes unique stuff. I got this plant this year. You guys know it ain't grew one thing, not a pepper. So that, see, my personality, I'm like, see, that's why I'll be, I gotta stick to stuff I be wanting to grow. Now, I don't mind trying new stuff, but I'm like, more than likely, I'm not gonna try to grow this, but I'm gonna give this to a friend because I know that she'll like it. Okay, more cowpeas, another marigold, orange flame. One of my VIP members, I think Mary told me about this one. One of the members or YouTube followers told me about this one, so I saw it, so I grabbed it. I think this is the one she told me. Orange flame. Calendula Pink Surprise. You guys know I grew calendula for the first time this year and loved it. And so this is Pink Surprise. It don't look real pinkish, but we're gonna add that to the flower stack. Oh, y'all, I did get some borage, some blue borage. Look at that. This looks, but you know what? On this packet, it looks like more bluish, purplish. It don't look as bad. Seemed like when I saw it, is there a blue one that's like blue? Seemed like I saw that somewhere and I was like, I don't want blue flowers. Okay, but I did buy it. And you know what? That's probably something I picked up that I probably would have put back, but I didn't. Okay, this is a nasturtium, the Phoenix. I think that's so pretty. And again, I've never seen that variety before because I never, I guess, go looking for that. Georgia Southern College, these are the collard greens that I that I buy. I do sell, no, I don't sell collard greens because I always keep them for myself. But I have sold them a few. But these are the collard greens that I grow. I never knew that Baker Creek sold these. So I was glad to see those. This is Little Hero Fire, a marigold. I think that's really pretty. So we're gonna add that to the flower stack. Then I got some drying beans. This is a 1,500-year-old cave bean. Now the guy who was walking around with us, he highly recommended this one. He said it was one of the best tasting dried beans and making like a bean soup. Now I've never made bean soup. Yeah, but I think the bean is really pretty. So I thought, well, I should have gotten more packs if I was gonna do this, but I thought it would be pretty in a jar. Like if you wanna give somebody like a mason jar of some beans, and put like a little note on it, you know, to like, and they can, it's like a meal that they could make, but I think it would be real pretty in a jar. Cause I've seen jars or gifts where people give you like a 15 bean soup mix, something like that. I think that would be pretty, but obviously I didn't buy enough to do that. Okay, so I'm just trying to organize as I go. Y'all, this is so pretty. I'm gonna grow this bok choy purple lady. Has anybody done that? Now what I wanna know is, does it say purple when you cook it? Because wilted and purple don't sound good to me. Because you know bok choy, you steam it, it's gonna wilt. That don't sound good, but it sounds beautiful to grow in the garden for beauty. So let me know. Let me know. Okay. And then I got some regular bok choy here. This is another drying bean, the red swan bush bean. He also said that this one was a good one or a popular seller. Let me know if anybody has done that. I got some black turtle beans. Y'all know I tried black turtle beans this year in my succession phase, like just a month ago. And I think the rabbit or whoever has been eating my stuff ate them all, so I don't have anything to show for it. But I am gonna try it again next year. More jalapenos, Craig's Grande jalapeno. That's a favorite. We do that all the time. My husband out here cutting the grass now. Oh, Bloody Mary nasturtium. I think that's pretty. This is the lavender I grew this year, this origami, and it did fantastic, like fantastic. It grew and it's still growing a ton. And then this one is Elegance Purple. I haven't tried that one, but that'll be for next year as well. This is another calendula Pacific Beauty mix. So we got that. Let's see. And then for every, I don't know if it's for every $25 or $50 you spend, $25 or $50 you spend, you get a free seed packet. So they have like a rounder up there, like a thing that you spin around with a whole bunch of free seeds, and you can just pick the ones that you want. So there was nothing really in the free seed that I'm like, that I even grow or that I was remotely wanting, but I just got these because I can always give them to somebody. The Danvers Half Long, I've never grown them because y'all know I'm stuck on the Bolero. That's my favorite carrot, the pelleted. It works for me, and so I work with it. Okra Standard. I love this lettuce, the Merlot. It grows really well, it tastes great, and it's very pretty in the garden. So we got some of that. Oh, y'all, check this out. This is a Snapdragon Tall Deluxe. I think that mixture is so pretty. Yes. So we got that. I got this one. I've never even heard of it. Ageratum Red Flint. I gotta look it up to see if it even works in my area. Let's see what the back of it says. Let's see. It says 85 to 90 days, a unique spin on a cottage garden favorite with blooms and reddish berry tones. Stands 24 inches high. They are a unique shade between boysenberry, jam, and plum. Okay, so it's for the summer. So, I don't know, we might try it. That's probably one of the ones that I would have put back. Another free seed, more free seed. I got the jalapeno. I've heard about it, I've never bought it. And again, that's probably one of the ones I would have put back. I picked it up. It's a jalapeno that doesn't have the heat. I don't know why I would do that because I want the heat, but that's something I could give to somebody. Oh, I thought this was so pretty. This was a coleus, and this is called the Coloca Sunset. I think that's really pretty. I thought this was pretty. Butterfly Pea White Queen. I've never grown that one. Moringa. That's great. Great medicinal one. It's a dwarf size, it says. Let's see. Yep. Oh, and this one, now see, this one says, I just happened to notice this on the back, it says packed for 2026. Interesting. So that must be something new. Because it says packed for 2026. Interesting. I don't know how it's packed for 2026 when it's 2025, but that's interesting. Golden Beets. That's probably one of the ones I would have put back. I don't even know why I picked it up. Because y'all know me and beets don't get along. Chamomile, Lotilan version. Bee Balm. I've never grown Bee Balm. I think it's great medicinally, and I think it's also good for pollinators. I've never grown it, but I thought this was pretty. I know y'all. I buy stuff because it's pretty. I do. Because I want my garden to be pretty. I thought this was, oh, I love this. Nasturtium Orchid Cream. So y'all, if you see stuff you like, go ahead and put it on your list so that you can get it for next year, right? I think that is so pretty. I love that. Okay, okay, got two of that. The Celosia Kumquat Orange. I actually saw this one in the garden when I was showing you the raised bed gardens. I think that is so pretty. So I'm gonna do that one next year. Brunswick Cabbage, I never tried that variety. Another free seed. Y'all, we're almost at the end. See, it ain't that much. I got some mullein, which I've never grown mullein from seed, but I wanted to have it. More jalapenos. Another cauliflower, we've done that. I've grown this one before, slow bulk cilantro. And y'all look, the very last one, purple potted pole beans. I'm assuming they turn green after you cook them. But it's a pole bean, so I might try that next year. Let's see how long this takes. So I think I'm too late to do it this year. Let's see what it says. The maturity, I would have to look that up. But anyway, I'll do that for next year. But y'all, see, that didn't take much. Let's see on the, you know, sometimes on the receipt they put the quantity of how many seeds you actually bought. I don't know, it's a lot. It is a lot. But you see, for the most part, I only got one of each. The things that I buy all the time, I got 2 of each. Now, had it been a discount, I would have gotten more, but I'm like, it's the same price I can get online. So anyway, that's how it works. But y'all, that's it. That is it. I hope that you enjoyed going on the visit with me. I hope that you learned something. I hope that it was inspiring. I hope that if you go, that you'll have a little bit more self-control than I did. But y'all, this is all part of it. This is part of the journey. You can never have too many seeds. I say that all the time. Even with all this, you can never have too many seeds. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up. I would love to have you as part of the community. Remember, y'all, this is all a journey. Let's grow together. Can't wait to see you next video. Bye, friend.